What's up, fam? Welcome to our very first World Cup group stage preview. I'm Mitch Leslie. I'm joined by Matt Morello. And can you believe it's already World Cup time once again?
It's wild. I feel like this just kind of jumped up at us. Like, the Overwatch League was done, and then I was like, oh, what's coming next? And like, we're right into World Cup.
That World of Warcraft and then World Cup. But now we're here. Matt and I are going to be breaking down all 24 teams over all 4 group stages over 5 weeks. So let's jump in with our first group stage, the Incheon group.
We're kicking things off with some really quality teams, but the headline of the group has to be South Korea. They've won the last 2 World Cups and are big favorites to win again this year. But when you look at the group as a whole, there's definitely a lot of talent with teams like Finland and Russia.
So just to remind everyone, the group stage is in a round-robin format, which means that every team will play each other once, and the top 2 teams of each group will advance to BlizzCon.
And here in the group stages, the matches will be all 4 map sets. If the teams are tied 2-2, then we'll play a 5th map to determine the winner. If we have any teams with the same record after round robin play, the map differential will be the tiebreaker. If you follow the Overwatch League at all this year, it's the same exact regular season format.
The one big difference, though, from the Overwatch League is the maps. While the first map is predetermined, every map after that will be selected by the team that lost the previous map, and every map in the game will be available. It's also worth mentioning that the Incheon group will be played on patch 1.26, and you know what that means, Matt?
Oh, it's going to be Wrecking Ball time.
You've been playing a fair bit of it in ranked yourself,
yeah.
So I guess you kind of know what to expect. But Wrecking Ball, now we've seen a fair bit of it on the Contenders patch, but for a lot of these players that will be in the World Cup, it will be the first time playing with or against him in that competitive environment. What should we expect, though, from Wrecking Ball this week?
It's a lot of disruption in the back line. So you're able to use the grapple, swing, come down with the pile driver, just land on tons of players, do a lot of AoE damage, provide a lot of adaptive shields to yourself. He can be used in like a main tank or an off tank role, really flexible, but he's just a real big problem to deal with.
And we're seeing like teams or adjust their strategy to try and deal with Wrecking Ball in general. Sombra's getting a bit more play, of course, hacking a Wrecking Ball while he's trying to, do his aerial acrobatics makes his life a lot harder. May to freeze him up as well. Less snipers, anything that's sort of not as mobile and more vulnerable to sort of getting jumped on by the super fast-paced hamsters.
Arisa is also a very good counter to the Wrecking Ball as well. She can use the halt to stop his movement coming in, fortify, and put down some extra damage on him.
Yeah, and that's just what we're saying about it. So it should be interesting to see what these teams actually have prepared for a meta like this.
It's time to get into the game. It's USA. It's South Korea. It's going to be a slobber knocker.
Zuba's got his grab. He does catch a bunch in it. And the pulse bomb comes in. A beautiful play by Flower. Catches him on the source of margins. And he is going absolutely insane. Crushing the United States team. But he's taken down. Overtime ticks away. And South Korea, you're going to the semifinals. Let's make the roof explode here in South Korea versus France.
Flower, though, causing a lot of issues for them. He's going to get another Dragon Blade. Can he get the kills? He can.
He's got 3 already. OD ticking away, an AKM on his own. Taken down, and that could be it. South Korea will go to the grand finals.
It's time for the grand finals, ladies and gentlemen.
Mano back into the fight, and Sabiel be going crazy here. 2 kills, both supports taken out, and this may be exactly what South Korea needs. As soon as Sherford dies, that is it. South Korea are your 2017 Overwatch World Cup champions.
So the first team we need to talk about with this group is South Korea. They're the back-to-back champions, and everyone expects them to get that three-peat this year.
I mean, primarily a roster made up of NYXL players, one of the best teams in the Overwatch League this season. Didn't make it to the grand finals in New York, but still a team featuring the likes of Sabiel, MVP, Jonark, Ark, Meko, Libero, Carpe from the Philly Fusion, who did make it to New York, and then Fate from the Los Angeles Valley.
I'm excited to see Carpe added to this group. He's going to have that great support that comes through with Ark, but I think you're going to see him play a lot of the Widowmaker for this roster. It opens up Sabiel B to play some other heroes. You can play Tracer now a lot. You can play his Roadhog. And then when you need some other different things, you can throw Libero into the mix. I expect Carpe, though, to always be it.
Yeah, Fate in this mix is also super interesting because both the Los Angeles Valley and New York teams like that slower style of play that worked not quite at the end of the Overwatch League playoffs, and that's why those teams sort of fell off there. So he should integrate pretty well with the rest of those New York players, but how well they play under this current meta, that's the real question.
Yeah, and Fate has a very good Orisa, so I expect them to utilize that as well throughout, the group stages. But they've also been boot camping, which is quite interesting, taking this quite serious.
Yeah,
they played Runaway in a show match. They do end up losing that one 3-2, but with the group stages this week, you probably hide some strategies. You don't show them all in that match against Runaway, but I expect them to be very strong.
I also wouldn't be that upset losing to the Korea champions either way, but as usual, a very well-organized Korean team sounds like a nightmare for their opponents. But the question remains, can anyone top the South Korean team on this trip to Incheon? We talked to several players about who they thought could dethrone South Korea, and this is what they had to say.
I think the biggest challenge for South Korea would probably be...
I think the team with the best hopes of beating South Korea.
Which teams do I think can challenge South Korea?
미국도 저번 2017년에 있었던 월드컵에서 충분히 위험했던 상대였었는데 이번엔 더 강해질 것 같아요.
Team Canada, of course. I mean, we were second last year.
미국이 아마 힘들었던 걸로 알거든요.
Team USA, because I'm going to be on it.
Probably US and Canada have a decent chance this year, honestly.
There's a few of them. I think America will always give them a run for their money.
Canada, USA, Sweden or Finland, I think.
France, USA, and maybe Finland.
한국이랑 혈전을 벌일 것 같은 팀은 아직까지는 없는 것 같아요.
So let's assume that Carpe is not correct, or that may be the case.
He might be correct.
And if we're looking for a team in this group that will be able to beat South Korea, who would it be?
In my opinion, I think it's actually Finland. I think they have a very strong roster, top to bottom. You have Taimu and Linkster as that DPS combination. Fraggy, Zappis, all these players played in the Overwatch League, Shaz and Big Goose as well. But for me, the DPS duo, Taimu and Linkster, two very strong Widowmaker players. We're going to see who plays that Widowmaker and who fills that off DPS role.
I think we've seen these two sort of try and put it together in the past, but in last year's World Cup, it was in Sydney. Finland didn't make it out of the group stage at all. But this year, they've added Shaz and Big Goose, arguably for us, like some of the biggest parts of Los Angeles Gladiators' success, or the relative degree of success. Shaz, an incredible flex support player. Big Goose is shown to be just a very, very, very solid main support, especially Lucio. So maybe that's the boost they need.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a very strong play from those two supports, help lead this team to potentially, a BlizzCon berth. I think the other team that could possibly get out of this group is Russia. They've been knocked out 2 years in a row by South Korea, but back in 2016, it was in that second place spot.
Yeah, and Russia steamrolled over the top of Canada to make it into that final spot last year against South Korea. A really interesting squad, and this is looking far more refined than it had in the past. A lot of these players, obviously Shadowburn and Mistakes representing in the Overwatch League itself, but players like Unfixed, been around for ages, Chow and Tonic, Eng and Main, all of these guys have been competing as well in the contenders circuit. Tonic's been around for a huge amount of time. Chow was on the team last year. So these guys have got a lot of experience.
Yeah, and I mean, Mistakes and Shadowburn could be a devastating Tracer Genji combination. But I'm really excited to see, some of their tanks in action, specifically Chow. Now, we talked about him. We saw him last year in Poland. He's been lighting up EU contenders. So excited to see how he's improved his game and now bringing onto this Russian World Cup roster.
Tons of really good CIS representation in contenders. And Russia has made it out of the group stage the last 2 years in a row, as we sort of said. So let's see if they can make it 3 in a row.
Now, even though they may not have the well-known names of teams like South Korea or Finland, there's still a ton of talent on Japan, Chinese Taipei, and Hong Kong. So let's give some of the fans something to watch.
Right, I mean, Japan, if you guys watched the Sydney group stage last year, you'll remember the name Tayo. Incredible DPS player. It went all the way to 5 maps and to the last stage of control against Australia. He showed up on his team. He's definitely a guy to watch.
Yeah, and for Chinese Taipei, look out for Kant. He's a flex offensive player, can play a lot of tracers, some Roadhog and triple tank, triple supports compositions. He didn't play on last year's teams, but the rumor is that he single-handedly boosted their overall region's SR to a point that they were able to qualify for the World Cup. So the guy's got to be special.
Just ridiculous effort for one person. And for Hong Kong, I'd say get your eyes on Mui. He's a returning representative for that team. Genji, Tracer, Sombra play is a lot what we expect to see from him. He's a big fixture in the Contenders Pacific scene.
Before we get out of here, let's get some predictions for this group. Who you got coming out, Mitch?
I mean, after the playoffs, I don't really like making predictions at all anymore, but I think South Korea is a pretty safe one, right?
You would
expect
think.
them to get through. I think honestly, Shaz and Big Goose are going to be the change that Finland needs. Last year, they were very disappointed and disappointing. With this dynamic support duo now, I think they've got everything they need.
Yeah, I'm going to take South Korea as well. I think obviously the favorites overall in the World Cup. And then I think it's a toss-up between Finland and Russia. I think depending on which Taimu shows up, we get Taimu, coming out there on McCree, maybe some Roadhog, really just taking some faces. I think that they can get by Finland.
I definitely do think between him and Lynx, they have the pool that they need. We could end up just having tanks.
Could be a really fun
We could
team.
just see the Goats comp the whole time, and it might not even matter at all. They might wish they had Himsy back. Who knows? But that's it for us. We'll see you guys again in 3 weeks for the Los Angeles group stage, where we take a deeper dive into everyone's favorite rivalry, United States versus Canada. But for now, it's time to kick off the 2018 Overwatch World Cup in Incheon. Let's get it started.
Hello, hello. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2018 Overwatch World Cup. Now, last time you saw us, we were capturing history in Brooklyn, New York, but history doesn't stop for anyone because we have to crown our third Overwatch World Cup champion, and it's a pleasure to be here in Incheon, South Korea. Hello. Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
I'm Golden Boy. This is Malik. Pleasure to share the stage with you, my friend. How you doing?
Man, we're traveling the world again. We're here in Incheon, South Korea, and I gotta say, man, I've been enjoying it here so much, man. Eating all the spicy foods, it's been great. And we're here for the Overwatch World Cup, and this is an exciting time, man, because as we all know, this is the time where we're going to discover some new talent. Stars will be born, and overall, I love the Overwatch universe, and this is the time where everything comes together, from contenders to the Overwatch League, all coming together here. Some might say that this may be the most ambitious crossover of all time.
I totally agree with you there, Malik. It's actually going to be amazing, and we have some pretty ambitious teams looking to put their name in history. But let's actually go through that real fast and show you the teams. We have Hong Kong, of course, a very well-known squad there. Russia, Finland, Chinese Taipei, Japan, and your two-time defending Overwatch World Cup champions, South Korea.
Lots of cheers for them.
That's right. It's easy pop. It's easy pop. Looking to make it into a three-peat potentially, but also, Malik, we have a great set of matches today.
Right. We're actually kicking off the day with Hong Kong taking on Russia. We're going to move on from there to South Korea, the hometown heroes, taking on Chinese Taipei. And then Finland will take on Hong Kong. We'll see Finland for the first time.
Yeah, and then our fourth matchup is going to be Russia versus Japan. And then our final game of the day, a huge one, will be Finland versus South Korea. That is going to be such a great game.
It's going to be a good one. I can't believe that's happening on the first day, too. That's crazy.
I know.
Right?
It's insane. But, I mean, we got to bring out
Yeah, I'm ready, man. Come on. Let's stop the chitter chatter. Let's get it going. Come on, man.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and let's give a warm welcome to our first team. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Team Hong Kong. Now, this Hong Kong roster obviously had some hardships in Shanghai at the 2017 Overwatch World Cup. They were able to tie against Romania, lost against Norway, close games against France. So do you think they have what it takes this time?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we saw some glimmers of greatness last year in the Shanghai qualifier, but this year they have 3 people returning and 3 new players. So it's going to be very interesting to see how much they've improved this year around.
Well, there's Hong Kong, but you know what, Malik, why don't you bring out our next team?
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, please help me and welcome them to the stage, Team Russia.
Now, this Russian team has a bit of a love-hate relationship with South Korea. While I'm sure they love being out here, they have lost 2 times to South Korea in the past, Malik.
Yes, indeed. One time in the finals of our first World Cup, and then last year they were almost out of the group stage and they ran into that South Korea roadblock. So hopefully this year we can see they can overcome their demons, so to speak.
Well, they seem to be, you got players from Windstrike. You also have Mistakes and Shadowburn. This is looking like a dominant roster.
Oh, yeah,
but you know what, Malik? I think it is now time to get into our first matchup of the day. You guys excited? Excited, yeah? All right, let's send it over to your casters.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy and Malik. Here we are, Harry, the first game of the Overwatch World Cup 2018, Russia versus Hong Kong.
I'm so excited to be here in Incheon casting these games. Russia have a lot to prove. Hong Kong going to try and bring it back after Shanghai last year. They proved they can compete, but can they take it even further this year?
I mean, they're going up against 2 OWL players as well in the form of Shadowburn and Mistakes. That's got to be pretty scary. In fact, some of the Hong Kong guys were like, yeah, we actually look up to Shadowburn, so hopefully they don't get too starstruck.
Yeah, they won't get too starstruck. Instead, they're just going to give him a Bethesda coil on the Winston, try and shut him down a little bit. I know that's exactly what Hong Kong are looking to do. Such a high DPS caliber that's going to be across all of Team Russia.
Yeah, and you speak about caliber, you've got to look at the rest of the Russian lineup. There's a lot of players there from EU contenders. We're looking at Tonic, who is currently a free agent. We have Chow, Main, and Eng. They were on CIS Hope, which recently got picked up by a team called Windstrike, and they even have one guy on the bench in Unfix.
Yeah, the 7th man on the bench, Unfix, will be their 3rd DPS potentially from Windstrike, and that core is going to be so good for a pre-existing synergy that's going to potentially carry them forward against Hong Kong. Tonic has also played in EU Contenders. He's a high caliber player.
Speaking about synergy, look at the Hong Kong roster here. A lot of experience. Hong Kong Attitude is a team that 3 of these members play on.
Yeah, Mango Jai, Macau, and Mui all coming from Hong Kong Attitude, so they've got that synergy as well. They're going to be trying to bring into a mix GZQQ, Yuwind, and of course Jazzy from LGD. Going to be trying to bring it to Russia here.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see that DPS matchup. Our first map will be Nepal on Control. We'll move on to Hybrid, Assault, then Escort.
And when you move on to a new map, if you lost the previous one, you choose the next map. And like Uber said in the pre-ramble, we do have an open map pool. You can pick any map.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying. You pick any map from the map pool, you know, you have to concentrate a lot of your practice into every single one of those. I wonder how they've actually been doing.
Yeah, I imagine so. But for those of you who are new to Overwatch, we do have a quick explainer video to take you through how Control works.
Control. 2 teams fight head-to-head for control of a common objective located in the middle of the map. To capture the objective, your team must stand within its range for a set amount of time. Capture percentage is continually given to whichever team is in control. The enemy will fight to clear your team off and capture the objective for themselves. Losing control will pause your progress. Now your opponent gains capture percentage. If both teams are on the objective when one of them reaches 99% capture, the game enters overtime. This extends play indefinitely until one of the teams is cleared off. The round ends when either team achieves 100% capture. Each round is played on one of the map's 3 unique areas. Control is best of 3, so whichever team captures 2 objectives wins.
Be a master in your own ranked games. Doesn't like we're jumping on to Sanctum in Nepal, Hong Kong over on the white. We have Russia over on the red.
You can take that knowledge, be a master in your ranked games, but for now, stay right here and watch this clash between Hong Kong and Russia as we move into the Sanctum. And one of the main features of this map, Jaws, that big old pit in the middle. You can go to the bottom, search for Mondatta's gold, but if you're going down to the bottom, you are going to die. Environmental deaths cannot be rezzed by a Mercy either, so this is where Lucio is going to be incredibly powerful with that right-click displacement boop ability.
You've got to get that 100% right-click accuracy, man.
Absolutely.
And even hog hook accuracy too. More often than not, we do see this Orisa hog come out on Sanctum, just to hook, line, and sink people, drop them right down the pit. They're going to jump out the gate though, but different from Hong Kong though. Looks like they're going for 3-3.
Yeah, 3 tanks, 3 supports of Hong Kong. They're going to be very hardy in the face of danger. They've got the Moira there as well to give them all the healing that they need. Main instead's coming out on that Zenyatta. He's going to have that Discord orb, so people are going to be a little bit more vulnerable, taking 30% more damage than they are afflicted with that, but Russia's going to have to pick their targets carefully. Mistakes in Shadowburn here on double snipers.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want them on, man. Big playmakers, mistakes in Shadowburn, accruing a nice bit of ult percentage here. Hong Kong give them a bit of the loop-de-loop here. They did run in all the way back, almost to Russia's spawn, but look at Shadowburn getting damage boost already, but Hong Kong, they're going to be able to cap first.
Yeah, Russia going to get on the point to try and contest that, but now a crossfire has been set up. Mistakes is in the back with main on that Zenyatta. Right now Shadowburn's moving on to the point. The pressure's being applied from Russia.
Shao's got to get on there, man. Doesn't like Hong Kong going for the dive. Mistakes almost clicking on the head of the Moira, not quite getting there. He might have to reposition himself now. However, 3 members of Russia now on the point. Coalescence coming through from the Moira. In fact, Mistakes finally finds Jazzy, but already 2 lost for each side. But firm control for Hong Kong as they still sit themselves on the point.
Yuwind, Macau, and Mango Jai are going to keep themselves very healthy on that point. All the healing that they want and the shielding as well. In comes Tonic with the hole. But now Yuwind is going to be able to escape as Russia move on to a point.
Yuwind going down there, main in the back line, giving him a cheeky right click. Oh, Lucio trying to get away, wall riding away, but no, Mango Jai does end up falling to main. He's hitting so many ults, all accuracy boom, pretty good, but still Hong Kong control the point. More contestation time is better for them. 46% was acquired, main finds the final kill, and Russia end up capping.
And crucially, Russia didn't have to invest anything but ultimate-wise to try and win out that fight. You can see they currently have about 4 ultimates ready in just a few seconds. Shadowburn's passive charge will give them that Dragon Strike, and they'll have 5. Tonic's also quickly building up towards that Super Charge where he can combine with any other roles to get 50% extra damage towards vanilla play of another character. Hong Kong now going to rotate around with their entire 6-man death ball. Going to try and find a way to move on to a point, but first I want to deny some space from Russia, corral them all into one location.
Oh, there's the Dragon Strike, instantly eaten though. They're going to run forwards. Chow in a lot of danger, so is Tonic. Can't quite put the shield down, ends up going gold. It's all very red, in fact, in that skin. And there's going to be a rally coming out from Hong Kong as well. A stacking armor now, so hard for Shadowburn and Tonic to pierce. corralling themselves in the small room, but they've actually already lost their mech. This is extremely bad. They might have to just rely on Ewin's ultimate here. 93%, but they don't have too many tanky bodies with the D-mech coming through. Backing off for the time as Ewin's shield does fall extremely low. Tonic's soundbar, sorry. His Bongo ends up going down, but the grab from Tonic is going to send Ewin to his death. Just means he can't use that shadow for the next fight. Russia are just holding fast.
Russia had to invest both of their support ultimates there, however, so Hong Kong are going to be able to take advantage of a lack of healing potentially from Russia. And now they're trying to catch out spawners here. Mue's going to have to move back out, going to try and get some extra charge on that Zaya, but that's all that he'll gain here. He's already got the Graviton Surge, can't gain any more ultimate charge right now. He's going to try and combine it potentially with the vanilla swings of Ewin's Reinhardt, or going to try and get GCQQ to lay down the self-destruct behind it.
They've got one support ultimate and they're going to need it. Shadowbone has his ultimate as well. There's the beat being dropped on 5 members. GCQQ not at a med just yet. Still has that self-destruct available, but Chow's caught in the corner. Self-destruct, try and get back in the mech, and the dragons have been unleashed on the point. Tonic still in amongst 4 people, doesn't really seem to care. A final boop from Miko is going to send Tonic down to the depths, and we do have Mui just moving forwards now, shielding that D.Va, making sure he can just stay at 100% charge. Finally, they end up recapping 98% to Russia. Hong Kong just slip it in there at the end.
And Russia invested their infrastructure there in that lost fight, which means that they're not now going to be able to know exactly where Hong Kong are to try and plan their next attack, but it doesn't like Hong Kong are going to be presenting themselves at the door, so that intelligence may not be quite as needed as otherwise it could be. Mikal does have a rally ready. He needs his team to group up here so they can all get the armor, and there it goes. Armor is currently stacking up for Hong Kong. They're going to move forward into Russia.
That's good for Mui right there. He's got those shields over the armor. A little bit of shaky from Lee Win, but Chow is going to take him out eventually. Does use the thrusters in. Tonic's Congo has gone down here. That supercharger now not available for Russia. Could lead to their death. What about Mui? He's going to sentence to death very soon as Shadowburns come out on the Farah. Self-destruct to try and get the remake, but Mui's already going to go down. He's already got 70%. Like, how is he doing it so quickly? Tonic now is trying to corral the D.Va onto the point. GC's QQ gets instantly demeched and killed by Chow. Russia now 2 members on the point, and they pulled out the emergency Doomfist for the side of Hong Kong.
Mikal can try and punch his way in, but he's a little bit too late.
Oh my goodness. Did try and get on the point there. You could see him almost ready to charge up that rocket punch. Wasn't quite enough. First round now going over to Russia.
And now, those of you who don't know, of course, in Control, you have to win best 2 out of 3 stages. So now, map point is over to Russia as we move on to a new stage, the Village. The Village's point is pretty enclosed. It's only got 2 points of ingress on either side of it. And it's also got a roof on it, which means that sometimes a Farah can be rather ineffective here and you want to try and play more on the ground, like we've seen Hong Kong been doing thus far with their 3 tank, 3 support composition. We'll have to see if Shadowburn decides to stick on this Farah, because you can try and get some angles to move in to get fire onto that point, but when you're up against so much shielding, it can be difficult to get that damage.
It is a lot of pressure using that fire, and it's actually a lot of ult percentage as well for the supports. You've got to think of that. Does it like they are coming up with a solution for Shadowburn's fire, and that's Mui actually taking the Widowmaker.
Yeah, Mui wants to try and bring Shadowburn out of the sky. In comes a concussive blast, but it was shielded up there by the Zaya. GZQQ not going to get any charge off that, however, because it doesn't do any damage. Shadowburn's trying to pick off any reinforcements, but for now, Hong Kong, they have positioning on the point. It's about to unlock in just 2 seconds.
It's where they want to be. Mui, though, where's he hiding? We got to know. He's extremely scary. Shadow's going to have to be very careful. See there, in the gate. It's going to find a rocket, though. Shadowburn, it might just be able to solo him out. He does. With the help of Aang there, with the damage boost, they are going to be able to move forward. Hong Kong now down a member, forcing them onto the point. 50% ult charge for Shadowburn, but can he just punch his way through these tanks?
Jazz is quickly building up towards that coalescence, which will be a huge tool for him to try and use to try and survive here against the huge damage that's coming out. He's almost got the barrage. He's already there, trying to force out a fade.
Mikal's gone down already. Mistakes unleashing the Storm Arrow is going to pin him down onto the floor, just meaning they can move themselves onto the point. That coalescence will help them for the time being, but too little too late as Hong Kong end up falling. Chow finds the last kill. Russia now claim control.
Hong Kong, however, didn't go away empty-handed. They did get 32% of the capture on that point already, but Russia, having gone up against so much health and so much healing, have used this to their advantage. The ultimate bank that anyone would be jealous of. Basically 5 ready to go, and now Hong Kong have lost some even more time. Mango Jai's gone down, no resurrection available.
One ultimate available for Hong Kong right now. Infosight's coming up very soon, but that beat is going to be instrumental in their push. Mistakes has that Dragons available, and that's the thing I'm scared of. We've seen a little bit, especially from the CIO's Hope Squad, that you can just corral people into that Dragon Strike using that self-destruct.
Mikal can be a little bit more Hardy in the face of danger, though, if he gets that sound barrier, because he can be incredibly vulnerable as the Doomfist. In comes the Primal Rage, going to try and shut it down, but it's deciding against it.
McCall's playing extremely defensive here, and actually Jazzy is going to fall, and a D-Med coming through onto GCQQ as well. Tonic just taking over this map. Double kill with the Primal Rage. Maybe gets a little bit of revenge there, Harry, but with Shadowburn going down, it does mean the rest of Hong Kong actually have to back off here. They lost too many members in the initial engagement.
Louis and Macau going to back off, live to fight another day, but all they're going to get away with is some ult charge. Russia's still getting that percentage right there, Jules. They are 40% away from claiming Nepal, and they've still got 4 ultimates. Eng's quickly building up towards that Valkyrie as well. They only needed to use the Primal Rage. That is great value.
Mistakes with sneaky beaver shoes on is going to be in the back line almost. He just can't get spotted out at this point. Shadowburn is going to chase down the supports. He has got that barrage, was waiting for the sound barrier to disappear. Jazzy and Mango Jai are going to fall. 78% on the board now for Russia. They still have ults to work with as well. Hong Kong are only just building up to that Meteor Strike.
You don't want to enter Shadowburn's Tunnel of Love. It's actually full of pain in the form of a barrage, and Mistakes is going to be ready to try and cut off Hong Kong as they come into contest by using that Dragon Strike. He can very much control a very small amount of territory using that ultimate. They're going to try and make the dive in now, but will the Dragon Strike be there to catch them?
Jazzy gets caught out in the back as Tonic jumps on Mango Jai as well. They're all just going to get scattered to the 4 wins as Mistakes find 2. The Rocket Punch comes in, but cannot even secure a life. Russia are going to take Nepal in such a dominant fashion.
And they are, and really, this was a huge showing here from Russia, just showing how well they can integrate these DPS into their existing core of Windstrike. Mistakes and Shadowburn were doing everything that was needed to secure that victory.
Yeah, you got to say, the 3-3 just didn't really work out in the end there for Hong Kong. Double sniper and even Shadowburn jumping onto the Farah to punish that immobility. Well, that enabled to get up his verticality even, to try and take out Shadowburn. There was nothing really there. You can only really send the Diva after him, or a Moira if she's quite sneaky, but there was nothing there to counter the Farah. Finally brought out Widowmaker, but she only managed to get 1 kill on him.
Yeah, and GCQQ on that Diva had so many different targets that he had to worry about, because as we saw on Sanctum, Russia are incredibly good at trying to rotate around a point. They managed to get around onto the high ground, both Main and Mistakes, on that Zenyatta and the Widowmaker, so that you couldn't really shield in one direction if you have a Reinhardt. The Diva had to try and decide which targets to go on, but you can't go on everyone at once.
Well, with that, Russia are going to claim Nepal. Does mean we're going to move over to our hybrid map next. I wonder which one to be. Remember, this is loser's choice. So Hong Kong, they actually get to pick a map now.
They can choose out of Nambani, King's Row, and that's exactly what it will be. And King's Row, no surprises here. They were running the triple tank, triple support before, and King's Row is pretty favorable to tank play. You can run your Reinhardt through here, and he's incredibly effective, especially in the streets.
And hey, if you don't know how hybrid works and you're new to Overwatch, we got a short explanation to sort you out.
It's hybrid. 2 teams face off as either defenders or attackers. The attacking team has a limited amount of time to first capture a payload and then escort it along a set path containing 2 checkpoints. To capture the payload, the attackers need to stand within its range for a set amount of time. Defenders can delay capture progress by also standing in range. The attackers must work together to clear away the defenders. If successful, they score 1 point and gain additional time on the clock. The payload only moves forward when an attacker stands near it. Defenders can delay the payload's movement by standing nearby. To get moving again, the attackers must clear away the defenders by force. If even one attacker is capturing the objective or on the payload when the time runs out, the game enters overtime. This extends play indefinitely until the attackers are either cleared away or they gain more time by reaching a checkpoint. Every time the payload reaches a checkpoint, the attackers score 1 point and gain additional time on the clock. The round ends when the payload reaches the destination or when time runs out. Teams switch sides each round. Whichever team scores the most points and escorts the payload farthest wins.
And there we go. Now you can perfect the hybrid game type. We're going to jump over to Kings Row. Russia 1-0 up in the series. They're going to be attacking first.
Home country of Jaws and I, coming from beautiful Britain, but we can assure you, we're not all against Omnic. Some of us are full of love for our Omnic brethren, and it looks like it may well be the case on the side of Russia as well, because Maine's coming out on that Zenyatta, and we saw just how effective that could be last time on Nepal. Meanwhile, Hong Kong, they're going to come out once again on this 3-3. It's pretty ubiquitous for Hong Kong at the moment.
Yeah, 3-3 in itself, the composition, with not much time to practice, you got to say. Well, apart from obviously the three boys from Hong Kong Attitude, it's very easy to kind of get to grips with. The minutiae of the play, when you go up to the highest level, they will be fairly hard if you run into another 3-3. But you can just jump onto this comp, even in your solo queue games and your ranked games, and you can do fairly well. And you could see they were winning these tank fights, yes. It's just they had to focus a little bit more on killing Shadowburn and Mistakes. He was just ruling the roost on the far.
Unfortunately, Russia are no solo queue team. They have these crossfires down to a T, Jaws. Mistakes and Shadowburn always coming in from different angles, and it means that you win. He just gets overwhelmed. He's only got one shield, my boy. You can't shield them all.
Hey, come on. You still got the Brigitte shield there.
Everybody just got to get in single file.
Yeah, you can single file behind the Brigitte shield. Ain't that strong, mind you?
You bet when you get struck on by the Dragon Strike.
Well, they are just going to hide in Hotel. Russia, are they going to know where they are? Shadowburn has got that Sonic Arrow, can just spot their location out, but it depends where he actually puts it. I think it may have spotted them, although they are hiding rather effectively right now. Shadowburn actually on top of Hotel. Tonic having a little look around. Shadowburn gets stunned. Oh my goodness. That was painful. Tonic is going to find a pin though. Look at that charge on the D.Va. And he's going to find the D-Mech also. They are by the spawn right now. Maine's going to take out GZQQ as soon as he got D-Mech'd. Zaya's behind enemy lines as well.
Knock knock, Shadowburn, who's there? It was Pain, and already you can see Russia having to retreat now. They have taken out Mue, who won't be able to respawn for a long time. Hong Kong don't have a mercy, they can't resurrect, and Shadowburn's already back in the fray. He's got the Storm Arrows out.
Oh, look at Tonic, he's already got that Earth Shadow. He's going to move forward. Now he just has to bait out that shield. 38% on Yi-Wind. They are going to go for a nice flank, but Yi-Wind gets pinned.
Good
oh
block.
no, it's the D.Va instead. Again, another instant D-Mech. Russia just ruling Kings Row right now, and finally Mui is going to be able to get back to the point, but the rest of his team are already dead.
They may be ruling the row, but now they've got to cap the point. They've already taken a minute. It's a pretty quick attack, but not as quick as they would like. Mui here getting staggered out by Main and Mistakes, but over the course of that, he did manage to get himself a little bit of that ultimate charge. The question is, will Mui decide to stick on that Zarya?
Shadowburn off to the side. You can see why they wanted him on the Hanzo. Easy clean up there. That flank shatter as well. Wait, it wasn't even a flank shatter, sorry. That was Hong Kong trying to go for the flank, just didn't watch their back, and Tonic with the easy ult.
Mui's giving up that Graviton Surge charge instead. We're going over to a full dive on the side of Hong Kong. Genji and Tracer combined with Winston and D.Va. They've got to pick one target and go on him hard. Main and Eng quickly building up towards their support ultimates. There's such a narrow window here for Hong Kong to try and move on to him. They've still got to worry about Mistakes on the Brigida.
Yeah, you've got to be careful. Brigida's got a very nasty flail with your name on it. They're going to move forward. Beautiful stun onto the Winston. Is going to get out. And now Russia have two support ults. Tonic going low, but it doesn't seem to matter. He's got that health pack. And now you can see they're trying to harass Main, but it's only Tracer there.
Mui's in the back. He knows that Mistakes has that shield bash ready to go. Shadowburn's trying to hunt, but right now we can only find Yi-Wind. He's got a lot of health and a shield as well. But still, Jaws, the payload's moving. Hong Kong can't quite get on it.
4 minutes. Remember how quickly they managed to grab the first point. Beautiful Graviton Surge on the stairs, and Mistakes is going to clean up 3. And with that, well, Mistakes is going to fall. And with that, they should just be able to cap it. There's no second chance here for Hong Kong on point 2.
Tonic and Chao, though, overlapping those tank ults. Jazzy's still in the back. He's going to get staggered out, and we'll have to wait to respawn. But 5 minutes and 20 seconds is the time bank for third. Jaws, this is so fast right now, and Mistakes is doing such a good job on this Brigida.
Oh man, just swinging the flail straight into the grab. A little bit cruel if you're on the side of Hong Kong, and now they're going to move forward through this boundary. Shadowburn, he's got the ultimate once more. No Graviton Surge to combo with it just yet. They've only got the Trance available. They do have a couple of support ults on the side of Hong Kong though, so they might be able to hold for the time.
Trying to force out a reflect there from Mikhail, so they can't reflect the Dragon Strike back, but they're going to try and open up with a self-destruct.
Here comes the bomb. He's going to get blocked, and already the code's going to go down. He's going to get resurrected by Mango J there, but Tonic is going to pay off Yi-Wind. As soon as you go for that resurrect, there's a whole a lack of healing coming through, just meaning the Winston can't survive for all too long, not when Shadowburn's got your number. There's the Transcendence fairly early, and the Graviton Surge pinning him to the wall. The Dragons weren't even necessary, and Mikhail's going to go down as well. Shadowburn's just cleaning house.
Kill after kill, Mikhail can respawn, he does have a Dragon Blade, Mue's gone down, and Mango Giant needs to move on to a point, but now we've only got a Primal Rage there, it's 1,000 HP in a dream!
There's no dream and no HP available to him. Instantly got shredded, a Discord Orb, and the entirety of Team Russia focusing him out. What a clean and concise push there coming through from Russia.
And let's not forget, this was the map pick of Hong Kong. They thought that they had this figured out, and they certainly looked like it when they managed to just run through Shadowburn when he knocked on the door of a hotel and he was told, nah, there's no room at the inn right now, you can go straight back to spawn and sleep there. But instead, Russia, they managed to clutch that one out. It looked like Hong Kong just went a little bit too deep. They kept staggering themselves in enemy territory. So Russia just took advantage of what they saw.
Would you really want a reservation to that hotel? I'm not going to lie to you, it's literally only got a front desk and like 3 doors. You'd have to, I don't even know where the elevator is in that place.
It's got a good draft.
I mean, yeah, I guess
cool.
so. Keep you cool at night. Yeah, but what if it's chilly, man? It's always chilly in the UK.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Well, we are going to jump over, well, we're going to switch sides, sorry. Now, Hong Kong get their chance to attack. We'll see what they want to pull out on the offense, and Russia now on the defense. Maybe they stick with the double snipers. It's been working out for them well so far, and a trend we've seen on King's Row, on the defense, is this double sniper crossfire. We set the Hanzo up behind the shield, we have the Widowmaker peek in one of those other windows, and it's so easy to just corral people onto the point, and then you can't look both ways if you're Reinhardt. You can only look one way to protect your team, and the other sniper's going to click the back of your head if you're not careful.
Yeah, generally if you're up against that, you need to take sort of like a long rotation with all of your team to try and go all the way around the back of King's Row, go over to second point, try and make your way through high ground, and then push the defenders off of the high ground and force them to make a rotation. And now, you could see that could potentially happen because there's an Orisa that needs dislodging.
Shadowburn, however, not going to be on the double sniper, is going to jump onto the junk route instead. So a lot of bombs are going to be lobbed Hong Kong's way. Maybe that's the, maybe they wanted to kind of figure out Hong Kong here. We know you're going to run 3-3, so we're going to jump onto the junk route, who's just so good at not only bursting down shields and just bursting down a lot of members. Remember, 120 damage on those bombs.
It's a lot of damage. We've got to get rid of this trap at the front. GZQQ runs into that with a shield up. Will get himself some free energy so he can start using that to build up the Graviton Surge later. Tonic has positioned himself up top here, and he's got everyone behind his shield except for Shadowburn. He now has to move onto a high ground to get out of the way of Hong Kong as they try and rotate through Hotel.
Oh, Shadowburn a little bit sad. Both those traps completely foiled, and actually just gave a little bit of charge over to GZQQ. Although, Shadowburn setting up another one, but no one's falling for it. Instead of we said about the sniper crossfire, how about the sniper with the Junkrat crossfire? Already they're pinned up against the wall. Shadowburn is free here to charge the ultimate, just raining down those bombs onto the point. Yiwind is going to fall down first with Tonic picking up the kill. Mistakes, he's going man mode, he doesn't need the high ground, let's be honest with ourselves.
Muein Mistakes potentially going for 1v1 here, but look at all that fire coming in for Muein. He doesn't want to take that fight, I certainly wouldn't. Hong Kong going to be backing off here, may try and come in through the high ground instead.
Okay, this actually might be a little bit better for Hong Kong now. You can see the rest of Russia have foregone that high ground, meaning that they're on this low ground in the sidelines already. Mui's going to find the kill, however, Mistakes does get rezzed up in the end. Tonic going extremely low, can't go golden, but Shadowburn, he's got the Riptire, he's ready to unleash it. Transcendence coming out from Team Russia as well. Mistakes finds one, maybe the tire wasn't even needed.
Shield.
Instant shield coming through from Yiwind, but it did destroy it in the process, and he ends up going down.
Mango Giant's going to have to skate his way out of there and escort GZQQ, but Hong Kong there, they did get themselves a tick. That's going to be very important moving forward. They now only have to get 2 in order to fully claim point A. But Russia look to be standing strong. They've almost got those infrasites ready in Chao with that ever-destructive self-destruct.
I'm scared of the self-destruct, man, especially when it's coupled with those infrasites knowing exactly where everybody is. Mistakes has got a good eye line here onto the point and has got those infrasites up as well. This is the headshot on the Brigitte, fairly hard target normally. Instant rally coming out after the sound barrier there. With Tonic falling, Eng is going to have to use that resurrection, and a trans coming through from Hong Kong to sit on the point. Can't transcend as a headshot from Mistakes though, who ends up taking his like for like. Self-destruct in mid-air is going to find Jazzy, but Yiwind still holding fast on the point. It's all on GZQQ now, has to use that Graviton, he's going to have to make it worth it. Yiwind picking up 2, but Mistakes going to town on the back line of Hong Kong. Is going to find another one, but this might just be a solo tank push here. Aim gets caught on the wall, and an instant cap as well as that Graviton Surge pushed Russia away from the point.
Yeah, the Graviton Surge there pulling everyone off the points that they couldn't contest, and Hong Kong eventually got the capture there, but not in the best time. I think it took them about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to make that work. They got that back, however. They're back up to 4 minutes of their time back as they keep moving forward with this payload. They invested so many of their ultimates in that last fight. They used 3 support ultimates. They used the Earth Shadow and the Graviton. Meanwhile, Russia, they've almost got another Riptide ready to go.
Already ripping and rolling, but I gotta say, Hong Kong right now, they are nearing some ultimates themselves. 77% on that sound barrier, and we will get that ultimate rather quickly on those input sites. GZQQ, if he can just farm a little bit with the laser, is going to be able to get a lot of charge for that Graviton Surge as well. Jazzy being caught out there does mean Chow is going to find himself another kill, and it does look like Hong Kong choosing to back off at this time. Seems smart.
Mistakes going all the way around the back now with the Infrasight is going to try and pick off some squishy targets. You can see him up there in the top left of your screen, but Chow's doing all the work for him.
Beautiful pin from Tonic there, removing the Zaya. No shield for you, and now Shadowburn setting up on the roof. Has to be rather careful though, as Infrasight was still available, and maybe did take a shot at him, but Riptide now available for them. He's got to aim for that Reinhardt, man. As soon as you take that out, it's going to be easy game.
Jezebel was a little bit ambitious with his positioning, thought he could get a flank onto Mistakes and maybe hit him with a charge shot. But Hong Kong, Mango Dry's got the sound barrier ready to go. Macau's almost got the rally. Those are 2 very important ultimates. They're moving in through the high ground now. They're going to try and make their way through the spam that Shadowburn is proffering, but your win's already down.
Shadowburn just playing with his food. Mango J, Jazzy is going to fall. They switch to the dive tanks also. Haven't got that shield of the Reinhardt to actually forgo a lot of that damage. Only have that defense matrix and a nasty stagger now coming onto GZQQ. Extremely painful if you're the D.Va in this situation. I'm sure we've all felt it before.
Yeah, that's some pain that GZQQ has felt very much. Macau's in the back, however, with that Brigida. Still has the rally, but can't be using it because he won't be giving armor to any of his teammates. And of course, you can't heal yourself as Brigida. You've only got that repair pack. You can heal yourself using the rally, but you only proc that when hitting enemies. And of course, he'll have to go pick up health packs if he wants to be in full health right now. Hong Kong still on these dive tanks. They did swap over because they didn't really want to use that huge death ball composition against this Riptide.
Using that third-person peek there, Macau's going to be able to spot out a few members of Russia. Just tell his team what's
Mistakes
going down. Oh, mistakes.
Get caught.
Knew exactly where he was. Is going to punish him for it. And with that, you got to remember how far Russia are holding here. They're holding so far up onto this gate. Look how far the cart has actually traveled back.
Mui staring up into that window, worrying that Mistakes is going to appear there any moment, or Shadowburn will send a Riptide rolling on through. But Hong Kong, while they're deliberating how they want to attack this, are running out of time. They've only got 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining.
Look at the ultimates from Russia as well. Chow's almost got his 100%. The Shadow's going to hit the floor. 2 men are going to fall. However, they are going to be aggressed on, but Shadowburn's tire at the end. I take it all back. Chow's going to find a D-Mech as well. Russia doing a good job, forcing Hong Kong to retreat. 1 minute now remains.
Trading 3 ultimates there for a fight. Mistakes taking out GZQQ, the mercy execution of the D.Va. Hong Kong have still only got 2 ultimates in their bank. It's for sound barrier jaws. It's for transcendence. They can carry them forward, maybe potentially defend them from Chow's Graviton Surge. They're going to be dealing with so much damage. Shadowburn's going to be throwing in the concussive mines, going to be throwing in the frag grenades, and Tonic's going to be swinging away with a damage boost as well. Build himself up to another Earth Shadow in record time. Hong Kong on the long flank here, and Mistakes is still trying to suppress Mui.
Gotta have that perfect dive from GZQQ and Yi wins. There comes the Rhine. Tonic's in a bad situation, but jumps on the health pack. He actually got it as well. The beast coming through from Hong Kong, landing on 4. Jazzy's extremely durable as well as he activates the Transcendence. Big ultimate usage here coming through from Hong Kong, and a Graviton Surge to match as well from Russia. Shadowburn chucking some mines in, and look at that shield usage from Tonic. Just the perfect amount of backup from Chow as well. Ends up falling as the shield went down. Overtime is now in session, but the problem is it's only the Tracer on point. Russia just cleaning house. Mistakes gonna find the last kill potentially. We do have Mango on the point, but he is gonna fall. Yi-Win getting back, use the leap and the bubble already. A self-destruct is getting launched in, doesn't quite find anything, and Chow's there to just pick up the pieces. Overtime all said and done. Russia find themselves match point.
Will indeed, 2-0 to the Russian side. We expected big things from them coming in, Jaws. They've got a score to settle here in South Korea. They knocked them out in 2016, kept them out of the group stage in 2017. But 2018, they've got the rise on BlizzCon.
Look at that smile on Eng's face. Feels good to be a support player. And this was the support structure we were talking about. Remember, a lot of these players are from the same team back in EU Contenders. Adding these 2 Owl veteran DPS players into the roster has just been perfect for them. They already had that core backbone structure. Look how easy and free it was for the snipers to reign free.
It's like a glove, Jaws, and moving into that comm structure incredibly well. We can see just how well Shadowburn and Mistakes are collaborating with each other in the usage of those ultimates. And being able to stagger those out one after the other or combine them for greater effect is one of the main reasons why Rush is being so dominant here.
Yeah, and ultimate control also. Let's not talk about, we saw in the preceding fights, the second to last fight, we had Russia throw in 3 ults. They know they could just do that because then we have stuff to fall back on. And Chao was farming those grabs incredibly quickly. We saw both dive tanks coming through from Hong Kong just to kind of round them out. But the problem was, as soon as you use that shield, the jump and the shield from the Winston, you haven't got really anything left.
But hey, let's talk about a free agent in the mix. Tonic coming out with quite a fantastic performance there, being able to control the enemy tank line incredibly well, as build up those Earth Shadows and use them incredibly effectively.
Well, maybe Hong Kong were a little bit starstruck. Remember, they did say that they do look up to Shadowburn. They are a couple of his fans. But it doesn't look like we're going to jump over to Golden Boy. He's got an interview for us.
Okay, well, I'm down here with Shadowburn right now from Team Russia. Congratulations on, I would say some pretty dominant victories there. What's the preparation been like for Team Russia coming into Incheon?
안녕하세요.
That too, Pander.
So we've been practicing mostly against South Korea, and I mean, obviously it's like kind of tough for us, but we're showing up like really good practice, and obviously we're gonna keep practicing against them. I think we're doing decent, and obviously, I mean, Korea doing really well again.
Well, obviously, South Korean team's looking very, very strong. Next thing, though, how are you finding South Korea? Are you enjoying it so far? How's your time here been?
Yeah, for sure. We wanted to visit Seoul and like just hang around like for dinner, maybe with a team, and like we didn't really have like much time to go like somewhere, I don't know, but like yeah, really like the city. Like we have really nice hotel, really nice food. Yeah.
Oh, nice. And last question, real quick. How do you feel you guys are going to fare here to close out this matchup? Do you guys think you're going to be able to get that 4-0?
Yeah, we're pretty confident right now. Yeah, we like kind of surprised. Like they're playing really well, and like I think we're just going to keep going and not lose like confidence and be focused.
Awesome. Well, Shadowburn, always a pleasure to talk to you, my man. Well, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we have games 3 and 4. Don't go anywhere.
The Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever. And by Omen by HP, the official PC of the Overwatch World Cup.
Oh, are you
ready to go to lunch? Yeah, dude, let's do it.
Right, but you're riding in the back seat?
Yeah, I mean, why not? It's pretty spacious back here.
Well, sure, but there's plenty of space up front.
Yeah, no, that is true.
So, sit up here?
No, I'm good, bro.
You're good. I'm not good with this entire situation. It's like I'm your show.
A friend who's going to take his other friend to lunch while they both enjoy the wonderful spaciousness of this vehicle.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh, if you don't get us there quickly, by the way, you're not getting 5 stars.
Sir, yes, sir. Right away, sir. Breathmint?
Don't talk to me.
Designed and focused around you, the Toyota CHR. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back, everybody. Russia versus Hong Kong. Right now, 2-0 up for Russia.
Yeah, in our first match, Hong Kong already on the ropes as we move into assault. But Russia, they're going to have some jubilation in their hearts. They're feeling pretty strong. You can see that this roster is gelling well. They haven't had too much time to practice, but they've made it count, Jaws.
Hey, Shadowburn seemed pretty confident.
He's pretty happy.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got his Korean down as well.
I mean, I would definitely be happy after that scoreline for sure. The amount of plays he was making also. Now we jump on to Assault, and with Assault, you've got to keep in mind, it could be extremely snowbally, and maybe this is where Hong Kong actually come back, right? Because then we can go to a map 5 if a tiebreaker does end up happening. Maybe this is their chance. They get to pick as well.
Yeah, and when you come to Assault, you can have some rather niche strategies. If you move to a map like Horizon Lunar Colony, which of course is in the map pool, you can choose anything that you want from the Assault map. You can go to Temple of Anubis, you can go to Volskaya Industries, Hanamura, or of course the new kid on the block, Horizon Lunar Colony, which I think would be probably one of the better places to go for the side of Hong Kong.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they seem to want to play 3-3 a lot of the time. It does look like, however, they are jumping onto Anubis.
Brave. They're going to go for the sniper duel, Jaws, and thus far, Mistakes and Shadowburn have been putting on a show, but we've seen Mue win out now and again, especially on King's Row first, taking it to Mistakes.
Yeah, Mue's ready to step up on this map, and hey, if you don't know how Assault works, we've got a short video for you.
This is Assault. Two teams face off as either defenders or attackers. The attacking team has a limited amount of time to capture 2 objectives. First A, and then B. To capture an objective, the attackers need to stand within its range for a set amount of time. Defenders can delay capture progress by also standing in range. To resume capture, the attackers must force the defenders off the objective by any means necessary. If successful, they score 1 point and gain additional time on the clock. Now the fight moves to objective B. If even one attacker is on an objective when the clock runs out, the game enters overtime. This extends play indefinitely until either team is cleared away. The round ends when the attackers capture both objectives or when time runs out. Teams switch sides each round. Whichever team scores the most points wins.
Hey guys, welcome back. Here we go. Map number 3 on your screens. Temple of Anubis. Russia on the defense first up. Hong Kong going to get their chance to attack.
Heading over to the land of the Amari clan, but doesn't look like we are going to be seeing Anna or Farah today. Hong Kong, looks like they may well be swapping up their strategy. We did see a little bit of this towards the end of King's Row when they were trying to move in onto Russia. They moved over towards these more dive-based heroes like Genji and like Tracer. And if you're wondering how dive works, it means you try and take a load of very mobile heroes like Winston and Diva who have their leap and jet boosters respectively, along with Tracer and Genji who have a swift strike and the blinks of Tracer to move around the map quickly. You all converge onto one very vulnerable target. You remove that and then the fight breaks down from there. So the test here for Hong Kong is, can they move on to the singular target? Can Jazzy put the Discord orb on that target? And can they collect on the investment of the dive?
Yeah, this is very scary right now because like you just said, that investment of the dive is going to be incredibly important for Hong Kong. And normally you'd want to set up around the Widowmaker and you say, okay, so we're going to defend Widow, maybe taking a Risa or another shield hero like Reinhardt. But this time it's more on the offense is the best defense for them, because Mui's going to be more than okay because Russia have to pay attention a lot of the time to their backline because of this dive potential.
Yeah, and Mui here playing with the dive composition as a Widowmaker can be the one to call a target. If you hit a body shot with the Widowmaker, you do 120 damage. That's only 80 health left on a squishy target, but you can easily take out with the 3 diving heroes of Hong Kong.
Mirror compositions from both sides as Russia pull out their own Genji and their own Widowmaker as well. Mistakes piloting the Widowmaker, of course. And you can see Shadowburn getting some early shurikens down. He's going to spot out everybody. Hitting the little bits of cloth up there, though. You've got to be more accurate, that man. Come on.
Mikhail right here. Going to also be scouting out. Shadowburn going to take a quick warning shot, but will quickly be healed up as well. Going to be challenged out by the Diva, and Mui has found him, but
isn't going to test his patience.
Yeah, don't test Shadowburn.
Nice rotation though, but GZQQ there. He did actually just make sure they can take out Mui right straight away, but Jazzy is actually going to get eliminated first up. Big dive coming through, also Mistakes on the low ground. Is going to be able to use that grappling hook fairly soon also. Just means he can get to safety a little bit quicker. Chow claiming a second kill, and in fact, Shadowburn main, they're just running over Hong Kong on this defense.
GZQQ may well be the last one to fall here. No stagger this time. Shadowburn cutting right through with that swift strike, and Russia will claim point A and move on towards point B, as well as claiming another 4 minutes into their time bank, which will bring them up to 6 minutes and 50 seconds to try and claim the second point. That's a massive time bank, Jaws.
Double dive DPS now as Mistake switches on to the Tracer, just hitting him where it hurts, and there we go. That's what I wanted to see, the Doomfist coming out from Hong Kong, but a rather swift push here from Russia.
Macau can build up those shields, 35 per ability hit, so that he can be incredibly resilient in the face of damage. But for now, he's got to pick his target, charging up the punch, but won't connect.
Oh, missed the rocket punches. Shadowburn's going to punish him. Chow sends in a bomb as well. 2 kills for Chow, or in fact, an extra DMEC after the kill of Jazzy. 6 minutes and 15 seconds. GZQQ trying to get back, but Russia capping second in record time.
That right there was a precision strike. They knew what their win condition was. They had to keep Shadowburn alive during that blade. So what they had Tonic go forward with that leap. He was going to land on top of that pillar where he could not be punched, but where you knew that Macau would be charging up that punch. Because after you start charging, whether you punch or not, that's on a cooldown for 4 seconds. 4 seconds, that's all that Shadowburn needs. Stone cold face of a killer right there. He knew exactly what he was doing. Cut through Macau, cut through the backline, and cut through Hong Kong's defense.
Favorite thing about Shadowburn, just never phased by literally anything.
Yeah, he used to be on FaZe Clan as well.
Funnily enough. That was completely
FaZe.
planned, by the way. Does it like we are swapping
Funny
sides
boy.
now? Funny boy. Hey, I'll try my best. Right, Hong Kong now on the offense. Can you beat that time bank? 6 minutes and 13 seconds.
I believe, Jaws.
Oh boy. Well, Hong Kong are going to have their full belief in that dive. I mean, that seems like the best strategy for them right now. Maybe catch out main. But remember, Zenyatta in this comp that you're looking at right now, the most immobile support almost. And he hasn't really got any defensive tools apart from the Discord orb and a couple of hands being thrown.
And he's got a pretty good defensive tool in the form of both Chow and Eng. Eng's very good at keeping tabs on main. We've seen it all the way through European contenders as well. They both come from Windstrike. They have that support synergy built into the pair of them. And of course, Chow, also from that team, is very good at defending these supports with the defense matrix that D.Va can bring.
Hey, best defense, good offense. That's exactly what Chow did. He built himself up a bomb extremely quickly on that first push. Was about 95% and then just let the residual tick over the passive ult charge. Just build up and then netted him the self-destruct. 10 seconds till we get out the gate though. Russia doing what they do best right now. That's run double sniper.
The reverse sweep is going to occur, Jaws. It's got to start right here. Hong Kong, they've got the rise of a prize, but it's going to be very hard to claim. They've got to potentially beat this time, or at least get a full completion. And moving forward, I think the dive composition with the Widowmaker is what's going to do it for them. Mue needs to be incredibly careful here. Both Mistakes and Shadowburn will be able to challenge him out on long range. Shadowburn, recently on that Hanzo, has got a projectile speed buff, so you can challenge out the Widowmaker a little bit more effectively.
They're going to go for this big health pack room on the left-hand side. And you can see already, Ewin taking a little bit of damage. Macau, and look, they're just pushing themselves around now. They want to just be able to collapse on main. This is exactly what happened to Jazzy earlier on. He got collapsed on the high ground on the right-hand side.
A long rotation. Macau has revealed his position with the Shurikens. May all decide to regret that action later, coming in with a reflex. But Shadowburn isn't going to test that. He knows exactly how effective that can be. He himself is an experienced Genji, of course.
Nice couple of headshots and back. Nice couple more as well. Macau's going to fall extremely low. Nice little bit of reflay, but Ewin's already going to go down. You can see him leap there, seeming like he missed the point of contestation on the top and just fell down. Had to use the bubble. Instant collapse from Russia. They're going to clear the rest of Hong Kong up and rather speedy. They're going to exit, but look, Macau, he's already got 70% on that Dragon Blade.
It wasn't entirely that he missed, George. Chow came in from the side, bopped him with that jet booster, which meant that Ewan couldn't get up there. Some great defensive play. We talked about it before. That's how you keep your support safe. Just make sure that Winston cannot reach them. Main and Eng going to be sitting pretty up the top, and now Tonic once again has that high ground advantage. Shadowburn free to rain arrows into this confined space.
Macau going low. Shadowburn doing a good job of corralling everybody up here. D-Mech onto Chow. This is a good start. Chow's going to go down as well, so no remake for him. They want to take out this Zenyatta, so it's a free blade, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They might not even actually use an ult here. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Macau's in a little bit of trouble, but might just be able to show Lewis support. Oh no, not today. Shadowburn comes up, goes back with a vengeance, but instant counter dive here from Yi-Win. Takes out both Aang and Shadowburn. This is the start they wanted.
Yi-Win to GZQQ showing exactly why they are on from this team. We've seen some good synergy in their dives so far, and now there is a very small window here where Hong Kong can get a great attack in. They can use Mango Jai's Valkyrie for the damage boost onto all these players, and Macau can have the blade. Main is still 37% away from the Transcendence. That's a narrow window, Jaws, and it's closing second by second. Now is the time for Hong Kong to strike.
That's a couple of headshots for a free trance there from Main. However, look at this. Switching over to the McCree now. They know the dive is pretty strong, but look at Russia. They've actually changed up their comp. Mistakes going straight onto the Brigitte, meaning that Genji's going to have something else stuff here.
Jazzy taken down early means that all of Hong Kong have decided that this probably isn't a push that they want. You can't really take an assault map underhanded on the second point because the spawn difference is just so large. And that every second is really debilitating for Hong Kong's offense. We talked about that tiny window that Macau has. You can see that Main's gained yet another 10%. He's only 23% now, 22 from that Transcendence.
He's going to have to rely on that damage boost coming out from Mango J. Thing is, I want to see Jazzy use that ult offensively, keep Macau alive, because he's going to run into mistakes. Another pick off from Shadowbird, damage boosted headshot onto Mui, and with him going down, look, he sent himself a Dragon Strike. He's going to send it through. That is a very bad space for you to be in, Yi-Wind. And now splitting up the rest of the members from Hong Kong, you see Yi-Wind couldn't actually navigate himself to the back line to protect everybody else because he was cut off by the Dragon.
The window has closed. Macau couldn't even get through the door to use that Dragon Blade, and now Main has the Transcendence ready to go. So now Hong Kong have a new win condition, Jaws. So they have to go in, they have to go in deep, they have to force the Transcendence out of Main, and then allow Macau to try and clean up after. Mue thinks the answer here may well be the Pharaoh, but Shadowburn isn't too nervous about challenging him out with the Hanzo.
Absolutely not. DPS king on the Hanzo, 65% on ult. And he just used that, mind you. Remember, he used it like, what, 30, 40 seconds ago? He's got it already! Big Primal Rage in the back line. Macau, this might be your opportunity to unleash the trance. You can see him instantly aiming for that Zenyatta to try and force that Transcendence. Speaking of trance, that'll be Jazzy planting himself onto that point now with that.
And now we can see Macau trying to find a way to come in with his blade, but Main's holding his nerve. The Transcendence is still there, and Shadowburn's picking people off.
Yi-Wind's going to go down to another arrows coming out from Shadowburn, making such good use of the Storm arrows, and even Main finding himself a kill. The nerves on this boy is insane. Main just doesn't really seem to care, and to be honest, I wouldn't either. I've got that rally armor now. There's nothing getting through that. 300 HP. You've got more than a big enough window there to activate Trance.
If you've got that 300 HP, Jaws, that means you cannot be killed by 2 slashes of the Dragon Strike. You have to be killed by 3. The only way you're going to get through 300 HP of that Zenyatta health is if you have a damage boost from Mango Jai. That means both Mango Jai and Macau need to go incredibly deep and survive for the entirety, as well as May not being able to pop the Transcendence. That's a lot of win conditions. They need to force this.
Mango Jai used his ultimate last time as well, and he's up there trying to damage boost the blade. He is going to find one potentially. Can't quite find the second slash around the corner. Chow is going to take out GTQQ, finding his life for like and Main getting some revenge. Also activated the trance in that fight to keep everybody alive. Mui has the only ultimate available for Hong Kong. They've depleted half their time back now. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
This is why it's so hard to go up against Russia, Jaws. You look to the back and you see that Chow is just destroying everything, even if you're focusing on the back line. Hong Kong have decided they no longer want to play this game. Instead, they're moving over to the 3-3. Instead, going to come in with a lot of tanking, a lot of healing, and a lot of health.
They did switch over to the Reaper for a brief moment, but Macau is actually going to switch over to the Brigitte instead. 3-3 seems like the name of the game right now. Macau's going to go down to Mistakes, who's on that Junkrat. You see how instant Russia are switching up here. They're not scared at all. Hit that tab button, see what they're running without the gate, and Mistakes can run back to spawn. It isn't a far way away. 55% now on that Riptide.
Projectiles are inherently higher damage because they're harder to hit, but up against this Death Ball, they're incredibly easy. That's why we see a double projectile coming out from Russia, and they're building up their ultimate so quickly in response. Shadowburn once again has a Dragon Strike. The man is just throwing them out one after another, and Mistakes now can control all of this. Unlucky Jazzy, don't catch those.
Oh no, you don't catch the Riptide either. Sent from over the ledge. Mui's going to go down. Tonic chasing the rest of the members out. Mistakes just painting the kill feed red. Tonic's even going to chase down a Mango J. Okay, what do you do now if you're Hong Kong? You haven't got many ults left. You've got 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining.
You haven't got any ults left. You haven't got much time left either, Jaws. 1 minute and 17. Mui, he's going straight back to the Pharaoh. Thinks he can try and mix this up. They no longer want to go with the third tank. Instead, they're just going to go with the Reinhardt and the Diva. But the Reinhardt's going to be far more vulnerable without that projectile protected barrier that Desire can give you. Mystics is under pressure already from that Pharaoh, and it's going to drop down into the safe arms of Eng.
Mango Jai has to use his speed boost very, very promptly here to get everybody through onto the point. A Dragon Strike through the wall is going to separate the tanks again. GZQQ's already out of the mech. That Dragon Strike was enough damage for him to get ejected. And now Yiwin doing a good job of just holding the point for now. And Tonic just messing him up with the giant gorilla hands in the back line. There's nothing they can seemingly do about it. A barrier, a beat even, is going to come out from Mango Jai here as well. Just stop a lot of that damage coming through, but you can't escape the Riptire. Mistake sending that one out and sending Mui all the way back to base. Russia have firm control of this. A self-destruct will be launched out, but it only fights Chao's mech.
Farah counters Junkrat, says who? Yiwin has lost his shield, but he's gained an Earth Shadow.
The Shadow was good. GZQQ's going to find two in the micro missiles and just the primary fire. Shadowburn's now down. 12 seconds now, 10 remain for Hong Kong to make this push work. But Main and Mistakes, they're taking the game into their own hands. Mango Jai is off to the side, just trying to find the kill onto the DPS. Problem is, you got Mui to actually deal with. He's going to find two, but instantly the supports come back from Russia. We said how good these guys are and how synergistic it would be to put them on the team. Russia are going to find Anubis with the clutch plays coming out from Main and A.
Great synergy on the team. Unfortunately, Hong Kong were not on the point. And Russia, with another dominant performance on Temple of Anubis, have claimed our first match of the Overwatch World Cup 2018.
Russia coming out with a vengeance. Remember, they lost out to Korea in the finals a couple of years ago and got knocked out by Korea again last year in groups. You've seen exactly what they're bringing already. You can see the bottom there on the scoreboard. Russia 3-0 in the series.
They are on the warpath, and unfortunately Hong Kong stood in their way. And we'll have to see if anyone else will be able to stand up to Russia, but we do still have an escort map, Jaws, and Hong Kong still have it all to play for, because no playoffs at the end of this group stage. You get through based on your wins and your map wins. Every single map win matters. Russia are going to be looking to try and close this out as cleanly as possible, and Hong Kong need to try and gain something from this.
And mate, a little bit more serious now. Okay, there we go. Cracks a smile in the end. And he's having a little bit of fun right now. And like I said before, the support duo that came in from Windstrike over from EU Contenders already showing up today.
Now they are. Eng and Main, they're very survivable. We saw Eng in the end moving over to that emergency Ana and getting a sleep onto the Moira, which meant that there was no healing available for Hong Kong in the form of that Biodic Grass, and that was potentially what helped to keep that point in favor of a defense.
Well, that nade is extremely good for shutting down the entirety of the team as well. You had no shield there. Ryan went down pretty quickly. In fact, he was focused there. Tonic unleashed the Primal Rage in the back line, was easily able to corral everybody into that point, into behind the point. And hey, what's good at long range and good at small positions? Hey, those Junkrat bombs are pretty good. 120 damage per bomb, and you know, Tonic's just setting you up. It's easy Riptire percent.
And now Hong Kong have chosen our final map of this set. It will be Escort and it will be Rialto. We're moving over to the beautiful Italian Riviera.
Yep, and hey, Rialto may be a map they can take off of Russia. We'll have to wait and see. We're going to jump over to a quick breakdown of how that game type actually works.
This is Escort. Two teams face off as either defenders or attackers. This is the payload. The attacking team has a limited amount of time to escort the payload along a set path containing 3 checkpoints. The payload only moves forward when an attacker stands near it. Defenders can delay the payload's movement by standing nearby at the same time. To get moving again, attackers must clear away the defenders by force. Every time the payload reaches a checkpoint, the attackers score 1 point and gain additional time on the clock. If even one attacker is near the payload when the clock runs out, the game enters overtime. This extends play indefinitely until the attackers are either cleared off the payload or they gain more time by reaching a checkpoint. The round ends when the payload reaches the destination or when time runs out. Teams switch sides each round. Whichever team scores the most points and escorts the payload farthest wins.
And there is a breakdown of how Escort is going to work on this map. Rialto. Now, Russia are going to go on the offense first. We have Hong Kong over on the defense. We've seen a lot of interesting compositions coming out in Rialto throughout Contenders. And, you know, I want to see some tanky play from Hong Kong. It does really work out for them, but tanky play with mixed with a little bit of DPS. Mui was winning out some of these duels on the Widowmaker.
And to clue those of you in who are joining us from the Overwatch League who haven't yet seen Rialto, this is a pretty defensively favoured map, Jules. It's quite a hard map to complete. We often see holds on the first point of Rialto, and that may be exactly what's in store here from either Hong Kong or Russia. But like Jules said, here we often see tanky compositions. We see the 3-3 come out. Reinhardt can really rule these streets, and you often see him holding around this corner where Hong Kong are currently holding, except he plays it on the lower ground instead.
Yeah, tight corners on this map as soon as you do push that cart around this small choke, meaning that Reinhardt could be pretty easy when it comes to it, because you can just set up. The shield's about as wide as those narrow corridors, and it does mean your team get a lot of defense. However, look at the situation that Hong Kong put themselves in here. They're actually going with double dive tanks, and they're putting Macau on this Pharah to punish some of these early pushes coming from Russia.
Well, speaking of early pushes, Russia are going to be controlling these sightlines very adamantly. Mistakes on that Widowmaker. Shadowburn was on the Hanzo, but decided he wants instead to move everyone to the Pharah. Mue going to be showing off some skill early though.
That is exactly what we wanted to see from Mue. Just stick him on that Widowmaker, man. He's been clicking heads. You just want to keep that up. Shadowburn taking to the skies. He still does duel out with the Hong Kong Pharah for mistakes. He's trying to be cheeky on the sideline here. Did actually get a shot off, didn't land on anybody, but was able to get out alive, which is the most important thing. Tonic is going to push forward with that shield, but Yiwind is there to actually punish him also.
And we can see that Shadowburn is now incredibly close to Mango Drive. Going to be dueling out with Macau in the air, but he turned his gaze downward and found GZQQ.
Oh, that's a lot of ult charge as well for Shadowburn. Already up to 35%, and Tonic
Run,
up to
Louis.
82. Oh no. Mangochai's going to go down. Mistakes.
Oh, nasty.
He's going to find the shot, and Shadowburn landing a direct hit on Macau in the air.
Is he still on the back? Yeah, he is, and he's got like 30 health to play with. He's going to be taken out incredibly quickly, but potentially he can get an easy shot here. He's already been figured out by Chavo, who's lobbing in those Plasmord. He's got to hide. Has found himself a health pack, so he's got 100 health to play with.
Mistakes is actually right on top of him. There's the Shadow, but gets blocked out by that bubble from Yiwind. Perfect positioning from him. One ultimate already down now for Russia. They're going to inch that car ever closer. Shadowburn once again winning that duel out in the skies. Jazzy activates the trance, so that does mean they're going to be alive and well on the point, but Russia's going to do the same thing. And the Valkyrie being popped fairly early from Mango Jai as well, but that is going to leave Shadowburn with free access to the back line. Hits Mercy once,
double shot!
and twice in the air. Mui's going to take out Eng, so it's actually a like-for-like trade there for Hong Kong, and Yiwind jumps to the back line with that Primal Rage and ends the life of Main. Very late shatter here from Tonic, a bit wasted maybe. There was no one actually to follow that up with damage.
And also he only managed to kill the mech of GZQQ with that, and when you get killed, and when you kill the mech, Baby Diva's unaffected. She's going to jump over, have a little bit of a swim, get her mech back for free. And Tonic now, he's doubted his Reinhardt. He's moving over instead to the Winston. Wants to try and claim as much space as possible, make sure that Mango Jai and Jazzy aren't able to keep free fragging. And Hong Kong here, they have come alive in our last map, Jaws. They've taken half of Russia's time back, who are floundering.
We said this is a very defense-favored map, and Hong Kong are showing us just why. Chao's got that grab. I'd be pretty scared if I were Hong Kong right now, with Shadowburn's also got that ult. Trying to burn through the Diva mech so she can't get the E, but Chao's extremely low charge. This might be a little bit of a problem for them. Does grab on the wall. He's going to actually catch Mercy also, but they can't end up contesting. Perfect trans usage from Jazzy. He maneuvered himself onto the cart, so it dragged him back in, but he was still able to actually touch the point. There's going to be a resurrection on mistakes after he gets taken out, but Macau, him going down after getting killed by Main, is going to land Hong Kong in a bit of a bothersome position. Shadowburn didn't even need to use the barrage. They finally capped first point at a couple of minutes their time bank.
A large investment there from Russia, the Valkyrie, the Graviton Surge. Both invested, but they did manage to claim a point and get another 2 minutes and 30 seconds in their time bank. And now Tonic, he's just feasting on the hit scans of Hong Kong, caught out in a bad position, found themselves in hot water.
Mui found two people there as well, man. He managed to get 2 headshots. Problem was, Tonic was right on top of him as soon as that happened. You can see Macau now switching over to that McCree. Doesn't want to take that duel in midair. He knows right now he is losing out to Shadowburn, so just picking a direct counter instead.
Shadowburn's very safe in his positioning here. He knows himself and Aang can rotate freely as they try and look for an incision where they can can put this barrage. Trying to scout out Hong Kong, but right now they're being incredibly evasive. They found Zenyatta on the floor, one of the least mobile targets, one of the most vulnerable to that ultimate. And we can see now he's got his eyes on the tank. Instead, he's going to try and deal some huge damage so that Tonic and Chow can win out the war on the ground instead.
Well, Mistakes has activated the Inversights here. Good information being relayed to Shadowburn right now. Knows exactly where that Widowmaker is, as well as that McCree. You've got to stay up high on those buildings, but the best thing about Rialto is the fact that there are so many for you to actually hide behind. Both monkeys ending up swapping positions there, a little bit of a switcheroo, and actually Macau's going to come out on top. He went for the flank as well, and he's actually going to take out Chow. No Graviton Surge now charging up for him. However, with him being resurrected, he is going to continue to charge it up. Self-destruct onto the point, forces Tonic there to actually back away and right into enemy lines. Hong Kong takes him out in the end, but Chow has managed to find himself a grab, and with Jazzy going down, no Transcendence to defend against it.
Hong Kong quickly returning to a point, but will retreat. They want all 6 of their men here to try and deal with this, but it may just mean they have a 6-man group hug being flung at them by Chow. Mui's already tried to open this up, and Macau's going to pile on.
Mui and Macau right now coming alive, like you just said, finally killing off Shadowbird. It's going to force Russia back. Doesn't matter if they're 3-0 down right now, there's still fire in their bellies.
Now they are here to prove that they can make it to Overwatch League, Jaws. Look at us, we're Hong Kong, and we can really take it to Russia when we're feeling it on this day. And Mistakes, he's going to almost have the Inversight. He can use that to try and win out the duel readily with Mui. He can know exactly where Mui is at all times. Tonic Society no longer wants to play on the wins, and instead, boots on the ground with Chow moving over to the Reinhardt. The Crusader is here, and he's ready to lay down the hammer.
We got the combo, but a Deadeye is ready for the defense. Look at it, Gravitation Surge on the side. It's Shadowburn from the top. It's going to find Macau. He is going to get taken out by GCQQ.
What a pin on the Valkyrie!
Beautiful pin! Mango J didn't even know where that came from. Tonic coming alive. He's a free agent, by the way. Russia picking up a couple of kills, and Main still has that chance to work with also. Macau's going to be able to get back and maybe land a couple of headshots to save this point. He has that Deadeye too. Tonic! Where did this come from, man? Mistakes will take out Macau, and they're going to jump on to the second point. Self-destruct from GZQQ, clearing it for the time being. But look at this. Chow on the wrecking ball, rolling himself in.
And now we can see if potentially they can bring in the pile driver. Down it comes!
Boom! Straight on top of the Mercy. You got to be careful. Shao has got a Discord orb on top of him. But Mistakes takes that opportunity to take out GZQQ and Macau. Tonic trying to go for another cheeky pin, but he'll settle for a Flame Strike kill.
And he will. A kill is a kill, Jaws, and Chow moving forward now on the wrecking ball, trying to cut off this Winston.
So
and what
cool.
a great knockback. He couldn't even get out. Mistakes was there to catch him as he tried to escape.
Jumps into his sidelines, man. He was like, I'm waiting, Chow.
That's a zoning Hammond.
A zoning Hammond. He has almost got ult as well. Mind you, this is a minefield in a very, very closed-off situation. Then Hong Kong will have to battle their way through it. Haven't really got too many ults to work with. They got Primal Rage coming up, and maybe Jazzy can get the trance as well.
The Primal Rage could be incredibly effective here if they're going to try and move people into the sightlines of Macau and Jazzy, but Mistakes here. He's got a commanding sightline as well, and he knows exactly where everyone's coming from. A damage boosted headshot from him will kill anyone.
Beautiful flashbang, adaptive shield coming out from Chow. He's going to be extremely low and has to dodge around these pillars. 60 HP. Ends up getting distracted by Macau, finally picking up, but look. Primal Rage already been used, he goes extremely low, and that's going to be a D-Mech onto GZQQ. Now, Mistakes moving forward, playing the ground game, boots on the ground, and Tonic takes another kill with Mui as the Flame Strike Trill comes out. The Shadow does hit the floor, but it only finds one. They are still moving forward, but instantly, Mango J, he is going to activate the ultimate. The Valkyrie doing such a good job of keeping everybody alive.
Rush decides to not go in too far. Out comes the minefield right on top of Macau, but he is going to make his way out and pop the vault behind noon.
Oh, Mango J did manage to pocket Macau in the end, but the problem was he went down way quicker with those Storm Arrows coming out of Shadowburn. He's king of the cart right now, standing on top of it, moving forwards and almost having himself another ult. Chow rolls his way back into the fight. Another emergency Doomfist coming out from Macau. Thing is, can he actually make it stick? Beautiful talking of sticks, actually. He's going to be able to pick himself up one, but the thing is, you got to deal with Chow. Another D-Mech as he does roll himself into combat, but a self-destruct will clear everybody off the point for now.
Jazzy coming in with the Moira. The Trials at Grasp as overtime is in session. Shadowburn has been resurrected. That's a lot of damage returning to the field.
Aang is still alive as well. Only just goes down to GZQQ. Now that's a lot of healing now lost.
They got to stay on the point, Jaws.
He's going to jump straight on top of Shadow again. Gives him the Goomba Stomp, but he's out of there. Mango Jai at the end with the two-piece also. They do get held on the third point, but still, 2 points there for Russia.
And we talked about how defensively favored Rialto was in our little preamble there, Jaws, and that's still a pretty good distance on Rialto. Very defensible for Russia here.
Let's have a look at some of those replays. Oh, Tonic, it was a beautiful game from him. Instantly pins the Mercy. Oh, he must feel so bad if you're Mango Chai. His excuse, all right, boys, no worries. I got the healing for you, but problem is I'm actually pinned already.
Just taken out of the air, fly swatting from the hammer.
So scary. Look at the expressions on the Russians' faces, by the way. Apart from Chow, he's a little cheeky.
Chow's a happy boy.
Yeah, he's always really happy every time I speak.
He knows everyone's looking at him and they know exactly what he's doing. He's showing off for Hammond, he's showing off for Diva, he's showing off for Zaya. He's saying, hey guys, look at me. I'm flexible. We talk to Chow a lot because when we talk to Team Russia, Chow usually leads that conversation. He's great at English and he's one of the most likable people, synergizes with so many teams.
Yeah, Chow's a very talkative chap, and Hammond, I was curious when we were actually going to see him, and we finally got him in the end there, and Chow just really carried that point too. That adaptive shield is a crazy ability in these tight closed spaces because it amplifies when there is more enemies around you, and that's exactly where Chow was. He was in the backline 24/7.
Also the speed that you can have when you go into the ball form of Wrecking Ball means that it's very good to contest that cart when it's in overtime. I kept having to call out, oh, you guys need to get on the cart, you guys need to get on the cart, and every time was Chow slinging himself forward, going about 22 meters per second, I believe. When you have that speed boost from the grapple, you can get back to that cart quickly, re-proc overtime, and give your team a little bit more time to try and make things happen. But speaking of making things happen, Hong Kong now have their eyes on a map victory. It's their time to attack, but Russia isn't going to make it easy for them on the first point of Rialto.
Double sniper once more for Russia, setting up mistakes quite nicely. You can see already the presence he's actually having here, just forcing the rest of Hong Kong to actually split sides. He is going to get met, however, with Mui on his own Widowmaker. And it has been about 50-50 in all honesty.
Hong Kong trepidations here, don't want to pick the snipers too much, instead we're going to try and control the space instead. GZQQ going to retreat back to the cart, we've got 4 of them on there at the moment, we're going to move it through as fast as possible while Mui making sure that if they come to contest the cart, they're moving into his sightline.
Shadowburn finds the first kill of this push in Yi Win. Does mean they're going to have to wait a little bit here, but you've got to remember, spawn advantage here for Hong Kong, and they are going to be able to just reconvene rather quickly.
And you can see that Tonic and Shao are rotating around that top ledge so that they can always have that card contested, which you can see on your screen right there. Stop it moving forward. But now Chao's moved over to the low ground. And Mue, he's moved into a sideline where he can show Mistakes who's boss.
And Mistakes going down in the back line here is actually going to have to commit Aang. He does find the resurrection in the end, and Hong Kong used this to actually push around this corner. Chao is going to punish Yi Win though from having no bubble. Jumped up to the high ground, was instantly taken out. 2 kills, another one actually for Mui. He's taken out Mistakes every single time. Mistakes pops his head around the corner. An instant bullet meets the back of his brain.
Mui there with a couple of clips to be had. Shadowburn finds himself on his own, comes out with a Dragon Strike. He's made 2 Dragon friends, but they're not helping him out very much.
Who needs the Dragon Strike when you've actually just got your normal arrows and the Storm arrows? Come on, Shadowburn, don't click the Q. That's time wasted when you could instantly just be popping heads on it.
With Mistakes
finally gets the kill onto Mui. Big res as well from Aang as he sweeps in and just picks it up on Shadowburn. He does punish someone else, and that is going to be Macau. Hong Kong, 2 minutes left in the time bank. Only managed to just push it around this corner. Let's talk about the ultimate economy quickly, though. Look at what they have on Russia's side. They have that bomb. They've even got the trance available. But there's no real trance target here. Maybe you trance the monkey diving in. So Main's a little bit more free than he's used to being.
Well, Mistakes has been taken down by Jazzy already, and the resurrection isn't available. He's going to have to respawn vanilla style here. Chao trying to zone out these tanks with the fusion cannons and the micro missiles, but he's going to have to move on to the car very quickly.
What Tonic? Don't know where you were going, buddy. Jump straight into the back line. It's the problem when you got a Zenyatta on the other side, man. You get instantly discorded. Mistakes has come up. He's going to show what he's made of. Yi Win is going to fall, but look at the ground that Hong Kong have actually gained here. Beautiful Dragon Strike. He's actually going to force out the trance as well. Another flashbang going through from Macau. Mistakes paid for it with his life, and a Transcendence coming through from Russia. Also, Shadowburn, 1-man army on this Hanzo. Macau forced back in that corner. No escape for you against Tonic. There's a self-destruct onto the point to try and clear some members off, but Hong Kong, they're going to have to go for another push. 1 minute now remains.
Not much time for Hong Kong to play with here, Jaws, but they do have a couple of ultimates to use. They've got the Valkyrie ready from Mango Jai, may have some flashbacks to Tonic pinning him. This time, not going to happen. Tonic is instead of a Winston. And we are going to, of course, also see a Deadeye from Macau. It could be incredibly useful here. Mistakes still trying to control this sightline. This is where he managed to pick out Yi Win before.
Mistakes is 70% on that ult too. That's only a couple of headshots, mind you, as well. So he might just be able to get it off this push. 43 seconds now remain for Hong Kong, and they still have that Deadeye like you were mentioning. Instantly forced back with Shadowbird, but Chow actually finds a little entrance here and actually kills Jazzy off. Jazzy's not going to be able to build up to this trans for the next fight now, and Tonic going low. Remembers it's a mistake from earlier, doesn't want to go too hard because he's next to the Primal Rage as well.
A cheeky flank from Chow, who wants to build up towards that Primal Rage. If he builds that Primal Rage towards, he can go incredibly deep. He can be a thorn in Jazzy's side and still be able to get out alive. And now he's built up to it. Macau's found main though, but Shadowburn with the Sonic Arrow. That ain't what that's for.
Oh no, he finds Macau's head. That means no flanking Deadeye from the side of Hong Kong. Shadowburn sitting high and dry, no damage boost needed. Main's going to take out Yi Wins, and overtime is now here. Shadowburn jumps down, pins GZQQ to the floor with another arrow. Finds yet another. Chow is going to find the final kill of the game. Overtime ticking through. Jazzy comes back with the trans, but it might be too little too late. Numbers in favor of Russia, and so is the clock. Yi Win finally makes a desperate attempt, and you can see the trickling of members now for Hong Kong, but it's all said and done. GZQQ ends up falling over.
Russia here in South Korea with their lust for vengeance have started off properly. 4-0.
4-0 for Russia. Made it look easy. Shadowburn just taking control of the entire game. There was nothing that could dislodge him.
Yeah, Shadowburn moving into a new meta with a buffed Hanzo is still using it incredibly effectively. We have seen some various nerfs to his Storm Arrow since the Overwatch League patch, and you can see that hasn't phased him at all. We'll just go in with a Sonic Arrow and headshot you when you come in and do the old flash fan onto main.
This game has already ticked so many boxes for me now. We've seen the Hammond come out, the Wrecking Ball, and we've seen Rialto also. Remember, Overwatch League didn't have that in their map pool, and it will be available potentially next season, but it's great to see it on stage today.
Yeah, a couple of players who wouldn't have played that before in official matches, like Mistakes and Shadowburn. Of course, Overwatch League players haven't been onto that, but Mistakes and Shadowburn, definitely Shadowburn shining brighter here, but Mistakes versus Mui. Mui, he's trading out pretty evenly.
Yeah, we actually talked to Hong Kong the other day, and we said, you know, who's the standout player for you boys? Like, who is actually going to shine bright? And it was Mui, and he was showing exactly why he is so good. Amazing Widowmaker play, just taking out mistakes time and time again.
Yeah, and even Jazzy managed to get mistakes as well. Maybe a little bit of a confidence there getting to him. Big nerves on the stage, but of course, we do know that big nerves aren't really much of a problem for these Overwatch League players who play in front of a crowd all the time. Hong Kong, a little bit less accustomed to the LAN experience, but we may see them level up with those nerves over time as we move through the group stage.
Yeah, let's hope so. But right now, we are sitting on the Russia 4-0, the first match of Overwatch World Cup at 2018. It was a killer. We're going to jump over to the stage, though. Malik, he's got mistakes on the floor.
All right, thank you very much, guys. I'm here with Mistakes from Team Russia. Mistakes, a commanding victory by you guys. I want to ask you just right out the gate, no jokes or no pun intended here. What were some of the mistakes that you saw from Team Hong Kong that you guys were able to exploit?
I think our team was mechanically stronger. That's about it, honestly.
Well, the great thing about the Overwatch World Cup is there's so many different players from so many different places like contenders in Overwatch League. Do you feel that playing in the Overwatch League gives you a little bit of an advantage coming into something like the World Cup?
I mean, experience on stage definitely helps. Like, besides me and Shadowburn, our team did not really play on stage, you know? Did not really have pressure, so...
Right. All right, and last question for you, man. Later on today, you guys are going up against Team Japan. How are you feeling about that matchup going into it?
As I know, Japan is stronger than Hong Kong, so I think it will be closer, but we are confident.
Right. That's going to be your true test. Congratulations on taking your first match. Everybody give it up for Mistakes. And with that, we're going to go ahead and send it back to the casters to break down the match.
Oh boy. Mistakes with the words of confidence there. Not too bothered about facing Japan. Said they are very strong, considering they're all from one team as well, but high hopes going in.
Yeah, that synergy from Japan is going to be one of the main sticking points for Russia really going to have to contend with if they want to take yet another 4-0. Maybe a little bit closer going up against Japan. I don't know if I believe all of the bravado that Mistakes is throwing at us.
He was like, I'm ready. We're ready. Shadowburn was ready.
We're certainly ready as well.
We were certainly ready too for those players. We've got some replays actually coming up for you right now. And
ready for those.
Ready for those too. And what was so scary about that match is the amount of space that Russia were able to actually provide Hong Kong.
Yeah, and you know who else was giving loads of space? Tonic was getting space again and again with the great pins and the fantastic Reinhardt play. And also his Winston dives are pretty good as well. He got caught out a couple of times, especially when it was against the McCree and the Discord orb. He could get caught out, but here we can see those fantastic Earth Shadows always catching out Hong Kong.
Tonic on fire this whole series. He not only pinned the Valkyrie Mercy in that pin there, you could say that was a bit of luck with the Diva landing in straight in front of him, but he really showed up today. And one thing you've got to keep in mind as well, a lot of these players on the side of Russia, Contenders players now on this big stage. We've seen CIS Hope in Contenders Season 1 play on the stage over in Poland when we had the finals, and they're getting so much more experience here. Nerves not really setting in just yet.
Yeah, Tonic's here with a lot to prove, being the free agent on this team, and you can see that he's done exactly that, but on the other side, you win. We had moments of brilliance when they swapped over to the dive. It wasn't quite as good when they went to the 3-3. They were consistently shut down by the double sniper, but moments of brilliance from Hong Kong, and I feel that once they're more accustomed to the stage, we may see a little bit more value there.
Oh, there we go. That's the pin we wanted to see. That's got to feel bad if you're Mango Jai. You can see here at the end, they did a fantastic job of just corralling everybody in, and Hammond did come out at the end here from Chow. And that was one of the best things I think we've seen, just taking over. That adaptive shield, like I mentioned, just so strong when you're in these confined spaces.
And Eng and Main were surviving for a ludicrous amount of time as well. Eng and Main, of course, coming from the same team, Windstrike, are well accustomed to defending each other as well as Chow defending them.
Oh boy, well, we're going to jump to a break though. Chinese Taipei versus the home team South Korea coming up very soon. We'll see you guys in a bit.